everyone, welcome to MYP Biology. Today our topic is going to be about digestive system. So let's get started. First, digestion. So what are the phases of the digestion? First of all comes the ingestion, movement, mechanical and chemical digestion, absorption, and eliminations. Let's find out where all these processes actually occur. Here, first of all, we go with the mechanical digestion. What is the mechanical digestion? It's like actually when you take food into your mouth, you're chewing, you're tearing, grinding, mashing, and mixing, all those things that we call mechanical digestion. It is actually a physical thing that we are physically changing the food. When it comes to a chemical digestion, it's like enzymatic reactions to improve digestion with all the carbohydrates, protein, and lipids. So there are certain enzymes that get into the our gastrointestinal tract and help us to digest food. We call it a chemical digestion. So, digestive system organization. So we have it starts with the mouth, then goes to pharynx, esophagus, stomach, a small intestine, a large intestine, and rectum. So let's learn about each of these body parts one by one. First, we start with the mouth. So these mechanically break down all the food that we take into our mouths into small pieces. So tongue mixes food with the saliva, which contains amylase, which helps break down the starch. So the physical and chemical digestion start within our mouths. The epiglottis, as you see here in the picture, is a flap-like structure at the back of the throat that closes over the trachea. You know, we have got two tubes. The first tube is actually the trachea, which one we are breathing. The second tube is actually the esophagus, that we are taking food to our stomach. So the one tube goes to the lungs, the other tube goes to the stomach. So epiglottis actually is a nice structure that while we are eating and swallowing, the epiglottis closes the tube of the trachea, so the food gets into our stomach. Here, as you see, this epiglottis. Alright, esophagus. Esophagus is actually 25 centimeters long, and this is actually the connection between the mouth and the stomach. It secretes mucus, the food moves actually from throat to a stomach, and they're using muscle movement called peristalsis. If the acid from the stomach gets in here, that is actually the heartburn. The stomach is actually G-shaped muscular bag that stores the food that we eat. It mixes the food with the digestive juices, contain enzymes and acid. It's full of acid, hydrochloric acid, which helps to kill germs and bacteria. And if the food found in the stomach is called a chyme. As you see it here, the small intestines. So small intestines are roughly 7 meters long, and it's full of the villi that increase the surface area. If you know, if the small intestine is 7 meters long, but being 7 meters long is not enough for for all the food to be digested in the small intestine. You know, the small intestine is the main part of digestive system because majority of the digestive processes going on here. So in order to increase the surface area, increase the absorptions of the digested food, the villi actually help inside the small intestines. The villi are covered with the microvilli, which further increase the surface area for the absorption. As you see, villi are like this. So small intestine, nutrients from the food passes into the bloodstream through the small intestine walls. So 80% of ingested water, vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, protein, lipids are all absorbed from the small intestine to the bloodstream. So large intestine, as you see, the large intestine is about 1.5 meter long, except what small intestine cannot absorb. So it's actually water absorption mostly happens in this large intestine and the rectum, a short term of which the hold feces before it is expelled. As you see, large intestine, there is actually function of the large intestine is to absorb more water and concentrate waste. So here, mostly water absorption and concentration actually happens. And then through the rectum, all the feces are actually going out. Accessory organs. Here we've got also accessory organs which aids in a digestive tract and digestive process. Not part of the pass of the food, but play a critical role. We have the liver, gallbladder, and the pancreas. So we're gonna learn them one by one. The liver directly affects the digestion by producing bile. Bile helps digest fat and filters out toxins and waste, including drugs and alcohol. So when you're drinking alcohol or taking drugs, actually the one first organ is the liver, which actually removes all the toxins from our body. The gallbladder that stores bile from the liver, releases it into the small intestine. Fatty diets can cause gallstones. The pancreas produces digestive enzyme to digest fat, carbohydrates, and proteins. So regulates the blood sugar by producing the insulin or glycogen. Now we're gonna watch one of these videos about gastrointestinal tract.
Across the whole planet, humans eat on average between 1 and 2.7 kilograms of food a day. That's over 365 kilograms a year per person, and more than 28,800 kilograms over the course of a lifetime. And every last scrap makes its way through the digestive system. Comprised of 10 organs, covering 9 meters, and containing over 20 specialized cell types, this is one of the most diverse and complicated systems in the human body. Its parts continuously work in unison to fulfill a singular task, transforming the raw materials of your food into the nutrients and energy that keep you alive. Spanning the entire length of your torso, the digestive system has 4 main components. First, there's the gastrointestinal tract, a twisting channel that transports your food and has an internal surface area of between 30 and 40 square meters, enough to cover half a badminton court. Second, there's the pancreas, gallbladder, and liver, a trio of organs that break down food using an array of special juices. Third, the body's enzymes, hormones, nerves, and blood all work together to break down food, modulate the digestive process, and deliver its final products. Finally, there's the mesentery, a large stretch of tissue that supports and positions all your digestive organs in the abdomen, enabling them to do their jobs. The digestive process begins before food even hits your tongue. Anticipating a tasty morsel, glands in your mouth start to pump out saliva. We produce about 1.5 liters of this liquid each day. Once inside your mouth, chewing combines with the sloshing saliva to turn food into a moist lump called the bolus. Enzymes present in the saliva break down any starch. Then your food finds itself at the rim of a 25 centimeter long tube called the esophagus, down which it must plunge to reach the stomach. Nerves in the surrounding esophageal tissue sense the bolus's presence and trigger peristalsis, a series of defined muscular contractions. That propels the food into the stomach, where it's left at the mercy of the muscular stomach walls, which pound the bolus, breaking it into chunks. Hormones secreted by cells in the lining trigger the release of acids and enzyme-rich juices from the stomach wall that start to dissolve the food and break down its proteins. These hormones also alert the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder to produce digestive juices and transfer bile, a yellowish-green liquid that digests fat, in preparation for the next stage. After 3 hours inside the stomach, the once shapely bolus is now a frothy liquid called chyme, and it's ready to move into the small intestine. The liver sends bile to the gallbladder, which secretes it into the first portion of the small intestine, called the duodenum. Here, it dissolves the fats floating in the slurry of chyme so they can be easily digested by the pancreatic and intestinal juices that have leached onto the scene. These enzyme-rich juices break the fat molecules down into fatty acids and glycerol for easier absorption into the body. The enzymes also carry out the final deconstruction of proteins into amino acids and carbohydrates into glucose. This happens in the small intestine's lower regions, the jejunum and ileum, which are coated in millions of tiny projections called villi. These create a huge surface area to maximize molecule absorption and transference into the bloodstream. The blood takes them on the final leg of their journey to feed the body's organs and tissues. But it's not over quite yet. Leftover fiber, water, and dead cells sloughed off during digestion make it into the large intestine, also known as the colon. The body drains out most of the remaining fluid through the intestinal wall. What's left is a soft mass called stool. The colon squeezes this byproduct into a pouch called the rectum, where nerves sense it expanding and tell the body when it's time to expel the waste. The byproducts of digestion exit through the anus, and the food's long journey, typically lasting between 30 and 40 hours, is finally complete. TED.
So now it's a quiz time. So here on a sheet of paper, write the name of each colored organ. So the green one, red one, pink, brown, purple, green, and yellow. All the digestive system tract are colored. The organs are colored. So you're gonna just write down which organ is green, which organ is red, and which organ is brown, purple, and yellow. So here, how do you do? Here, the green is esophagus, the red is actually the stomach, pink is a small intestine, brown is the large intestine, purple liver, green is the gallbladder, yellow is actually the pancreas. So here we've got the review part. You're going to answer these questions. If you cannot answer one of them, go back to the slide and recap the slides once more. So here you've got the homework, the worksheets that you're going to do about the digestion and digestive system. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.